Also, just I find it interesting how maggots are like a liquid. I know they're worms, but when there's so many of them, they just seem to pour out of things. It's so weird. Hey, hi.
Hi.
It's supposed to be warm today, but I still feel cold.
You know what? Like, my mom asked me or she sent me a message early this morning. It was like, this afternoon, do I want to meet her by the park and we walk Zeke?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, no, you know what? It's going to be so cold. Like, it's unfair. Even if he has a jersey on, like, it's going to be cold. He's going to freeze.
Yeah.
Then my mom is like, no, today is supposed to be warm. And I was like, maybe I'm being crazy. And then like 5 minutes ago, just before I came on, I went outside to just quickly pick something up off the lawn. And I was like, nope, not crazy. Not crazy at all.
I mean, I was just outside as well. It's not so bad if you're in the sun, I guess. But inside, there's no sun.
Do not lie. You live in Joburg. To everybody watching, I was at the NAG office last week. And there was objectively a lot of sun. Like, the side where we went to go stand is like the sunny side of a building. But other than offering light, that sun had nothing else that it was bringing to the table. There wasn't one little bit, like half a degree of warmth in that sun. It was nothing. It was cold. It was ice sun.
It was the coldest day of the week, though. And I mean, if we snuck around the corner and hid behind all the wind blocking things, it was a little bit better.
I must say, when I got Luke to stand a block for the like wind, it was better for like a minute. I was like, oh, not that bad.
That's what we keep looking around for, just to block things that we don't want. Put him in the way. He's our shield.
Oh, that's so funny, but so true.
So how's your
But
week been
Cody,
since?
I must tell you a random thing before you get into how was the week. Like, it's always weird for me when gaming goes like super mainstream. Because in my mind, it's still like gaming. And the most adult thing in this world that I can imagine is a bank, right? Like, banks are pretty like grown up and adulty. I get a message just before coming on from Standard Bank. Hi Arielle, did you know Steam is running one of its biggest annual discounts? Tap this message to buy Steam vouchers via our app now.
Wow.
I was like, what? What? A bank knows what Steam is? This can't be right.
And they're even selling vouchers. That's pretty cool, though.
Right?
That's
But
very
crazy,
cool.
hey? Like, I was just like, that's weird. Also, I feel like Standard Bank knows my shopping habits too well now. I sort of feel like that's a personal attack.
That's all it is. They didn't even know what it was, and they're just like, there's so many Steam line items on this person's account. Just put Steam in the message. She won't even know any better. She's probably not going to click it, but she'll talk about it later and then spend money on Steam, whatever that is.
But no, my week has been good. For people watching this, this is pretty much crunch week, I feel now. Like, this is the absolute last little bit for chocolate sprinkles, if you will, on the magazine. The pre-orders are already out in the wild. People have been pre-ordering, and this is the section of time that's the most exciting for me when it comes to the magazine. There is nothing as thrilling as when the designer sends designs through for you to like proof. It is so great.
Yeah. We're like a few days away from basically receiving the digital version of the magazine, so it's very exciting stuff. We get to see all our work get cut out, and that's the best part.
We're not talking about that. I am still dying on the hill of anything that gets cut out gets put in the annual, because I feel like you and me put our like blood, sweat, tears, passion, heart, souls, everything into those pieces, right? And people deserve to read them. Page count be damned.
We should have like another oh my gosh, I'm just having a brain fart.
Dinkin Flicka.
A mini magazine that comes out between the winter and the annual that has all of the cutouts.
Thank you. I was gonna get there eventually. I was trying to think of a word for a mini magazine. Like I couldn't think of one. But yeah, we should have a magazine, like a bloopers reel magazine, where it's all the stuff that got
weren't
cut.
they zines? It was before my time. It was like in Larry's time.
I have no idea. I was thinking like insert. I don't know. Zines. Zine sounds like something crazy. Let's not bring that back.
I'm Googling this. Hang on. On. I'm sure I'm right.
If anybody else knows what a zine is, just probably one of those people
I'm
that
gonna
has to scroll
go. I
forever.
can't find it now, but I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna send it to you.
Yeah, just send it. Like in the last episode when we couldn't find the League price check at the right time. It's just one of those under pressure things. It will come
I really
to
wish
us.
we didn't find that. I'll be honest.
So I don't think
But
yours is right. There's no way that yours is what it says.
No,
it
but
was.
so Larry and I spoke about that. It's impossible because Larry's is about double what mine is.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I introduced Larry to League, and I'd already been on League for like 6 years at that point, actively spending money for like 6 years at that point. And when Larry did eventually get around to League, other than buying like a game pass here or there, or the event passes, Larry's never really spent actual money on League.
Yeah.
So Larry's being like 3 times higher than mine is just ridiculous. Like, there's no way that's true.
First of all, I love how we're trying to justify the spend.
The system must be wrong.
But I was chatting about it with Ali yesterday as well, because he had a look at his, and his is higher than yours even, which I also find shocking.
See?
But we were trying to, because mine's quite high. It's remarkably high, and we were saying that it must be they just calculate how much RP goes through your account, because even if you don't buy the RP directly, if you get it through like a voucher or something, it must count as well. So maybe that's why Larry's is also higher if he's getting RP
That
through
could
the passes.
That could be, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm just trying to justify mine on myself, because sure.
But you know what, like, that wasn't the shocker for me. Like, that was fun, everything. The actual knife in it, I didn't even share the amount with you, and I will never share the amount with you because it's disgusting, is how much real world money I have spent on Steam over the years. And you know what makes it more ridiculous of everything? Like, Larry and I looked at the numbers, and they're wild.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact remains, we do not really own big ticket games in Steam.
Yeah.
I mean, Cyberpunk, we own it in GOG or on PlayStation.
Yeah.
A
Same.
lot of the big AAA titles we own on PlayStation. And a big reason for that is, up until a couple of years ago, either Larry or me's PCs were never great enough to really play AAA titles like they were meant to be played.
Mm-hmm.
So, not only have we dropped an ungodly amount of money on Steam, we have dropped an ungodly amount of money on indie games on Steam, which is just mind-blowing for me.
I mean, I can see it because you shared your Steam library with me, and I swear, like, there's just scrolling for days. I'm trying to find like a single game, and there's so many, and then there's like 15 different versions of the same game, and I'm just like,
Cody, why
How?
have you not accepted my family account? I added
What
you
do
to
you
my
mean?
family account months ago already. Now that
I'm
we're
on the
moaning at you
family
about
account.
things.
I
No,
am
you're
on
not.
it. How do you
No,
know?
you're
What do you mean?
not.
If I'm not on the family
Because-
account, how come I can play your games right now?
Go to settings.
No, I mean, I don't have any invites. Anyway, I thought this is the thing. We always try to do these on the podcast, and they just never work. It's the pressure.
I don't
can't perform.
understand.
I swear we're
Don't
more tech
understand.
savvy than we give off sometimes.
Not we. I am perfectly fine. Thank you very much.
I'm
perfectly
more
fine.
tech savvy. I think sometimes. You know what it is? It's because I cleaned up my office and now nothing works properly. There's no mess in here, and like nothing knows how to function anymore.
I will say, you say you're more tech savvy, but like when I was at the office, there was like a Rain Man moment in the office, guys. Like we're all just sitting, chilling, working, I suppose, living our best lives. And all of a sudden, Len pushes a key on a keyboard. And from the other side of this giant ass room, Cody pipes up with, I know what keyboard and switches you have. Just by the frickin' sound. It was crazy.
It was shocking that no one else could pick it up. But then after I explained it to you, it was very easy, you see. Right? You could pick up the
After you
difference.
explained it to me, I understood how you picked up the difference. Okay? I wasn't like, ooh, I can now walk into a room and identify all the different clicky noises. I was just like, okay, I get how you did it. But that was basically me all through high school maths. I was like, okay, I understand how you did it. Like, I
just
can't do
don't know
it.
how
But
to do that. It's because you guys keep dumping all the keyboards on me. Ooh, I got a notification. Invite to
it
family.
better be my family.
See, it wasn't me.
And then look, you're only gonna have like a couple of extra games added, no biggie.
Oh gosh, wait, two-factor authentication, just... Hey, we've been having some accounts get hacked lately, so this is a thing that we need. I mean, when I say we, I mean the less tech-savvy person out of the two of us has been getting their
No,
accounts
I'm not
hacked
discussing
lately.
it. Not discussing it. Although I will say, from pulling data from Meta, I was definitely not hacked, and it is definitely an algorithm glitch that just banned me.
Still makes no
Because
sense.
everything happened within like a 2-second time period. And there's no way, there was no other logins on my account. It was like my login from my address and then banned. So I was definitely not hacked. Like, an algorithm glitched out, put a wrong Instagram account onto my name and just banned me and was like, you be gone.
It's so weird. I don't know. Like I said this morning, I think they're laying on thick with the, the different community guidelines and everything like that. So there's obviously a few bugs coming through the system there or something like that, because it still makes no sense.
You know what? So like, I have fully embraced AI into my life. Like, I have an entire smart home set up. I have routines that run, automations that run. If I can ask ChatGPT to do something for me, I'm asking ChatGPT to do
Why
something
not?
for me.
It's like a little assistant.
But I still feel like there needs to be a human element in there somewhere. because I don't feel like we are at the point yet where AI can just run completely unmanned without an actual person overseeing anything. And that is the problem with Meta. I do not understand how you have this global giant. I mean, they own everything from WhatsApp to Messenger to Facebook to Instagram. They want to get into banking now. And through all of that, you do not have a single employee anywhere in the world that works support.
Yeah.
And that absolutely blows my mind. Like, what do you mean you do not have a single real person in a support role? Not even, you know how these companies, like I had a query of Amazon a while back, and their support is this weird call center that sits in India.
Yeah.
And they can barely speak English. It was a nightmare, but still, it is a real person. It is a real person that you communicate with. I cannot understand how Meta can get away with holding people's personal information and not have a single support person. It's mind-blowing.
Anyway, I had this weird thought. I thought I would bring it up today. It's not gaming related. It's not gaming related at all.
Okay.
Okay. But so the question is, what are your thoughts on farting in public? Okay.
Okay.
So it came up
Is there background to the story? Yes. Give it first.
So yesterday, I had some people over at the house. They were taking photos of the house. And then I was sitting outside because the photographer didn't want people in the shot. And I was sitting on the left-hand side, but all the chairs were on the right-hand side. And I'm pretty sure the guy didn't see me when he came out. But he just walked out and he did like one of the classics, you know, when he like lifts his leg just a little. And he just lets a sound out, and then I think he turned around and saw me, and then he obviously started humming or something. It was too late. There was nothing that was going to cover it up from there. It's not like it sounded anything like his humming. I didn't say anything or look at him because I was like, hey man, if a guy needs to go let some air out, at least he walked outside the house to do it, right?
Okay.
So, and then I was thinking, like, I wonder how many people, because I feel like everyone is shy or embarrassed, or I don't know about like letting one go in a public place. So I thought I would ask you what your thoughts are on doing it in public.
Okay, so I feel like if I am home alone, all bets are off. I can fart all day, every day, as much as I want. My home can be a little toxic cloud of farts for all I care because I'm home alone, right? Mm-hmm. If, however, there is somebody in my home with me, unless it's an accidental fart, like accidental farts happen, like we're not perfect.
Yeah.
Then like that is forgivable, but you can't have a mate over and just walk through your house like dropping gas. Like that is awkward for everybody involved, and that is absolutely ridiculous.
If you'll excuse me, there's someone I have to get in touch with and forgive. Myself. God. Sorry, I farted.
Then I feel like if someone else is in your home, you either go into the bathroom and you fart, or you discreetly are like, oh, I have to take this garbage out, and you go fart outside, right? Like, you can't deliberately fart when somebody else is in the house. As for farting in public, I feel like the same rules sort of apply. If you were bending down and oh no, a fart came out, it's unfortunate. But you can't deliberately fart. Like, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, okay. So it's the in front of other people thing where the problem starts to kick in, right?
Yes.
What if you're in a bus and there's like 1 million people on the bus, and now do you feel safe because they don't know who it is?
No, you can't. You can't be that person. Like, you absolutely can't. like, again, I grew up as a dancer. And then you have to go to competitions and stuff, and then there's like 12 of you in like a bus or a combi or whatever the case may be, and then there was always that one child who used to fart, and it's always the silent ones that stink the absolute most, and then it's like this toxic, I don't even, it's traumatizing. Like, no, you cannot. What are your thoughts on public farting?
No, I think we're all on the same
public
page.
farter?
No, definitely not. I'm definitely go to the bathroom or something, or go outside kind of person. Because I don't know what it. I mean, is it embarrassing? I guess so. I don't know if it's embarrassing. Anyway.
You know what is embarrassing though, right? And I'm gonna throw him under the bus because we've all thrown him under the bus first. Larry thinks he's the world's most considerate farter. So he will always step outside to fart. 100% always. But he never wants to be excluded from conversation. So what he'll do is he'll go stand outside, look at you through a window, the door, whatever, make intense eye contact, and fart. Like, it is the absolute worst. And we've all spoken to him about it. We're like, don't do it. But like, it is the most intense. You know, like, if you see somebody and they have a baby, and their baby is busy pooing in its diaper, it always gets that like facial expression, and you know it's happening. That is what happens. And we're all like, it's worse. Like, at that point, you might as well just have farted at the table we were all playing board games. But that is actually worse. Like, just no.
He's doing it on purpose now because you guys are so upset about it.
It's so bad.
I was gonna say though, if you are on a bus and you fart, if anyone's on a bus and they fart and they're like, oh, sorry, it was me, I feel like it calms the situation down. I mean, even if it's like really, really bad, everyone's like, okay, that guy admitted it, so then it was a mistake. Even if he's sitting there like, haha, I farted this whole bus out and now everyone's desperate to get out. If he was like, no, it was me, it's fine, all of a sudden everyone's much calmer. So that's
No.
He's giving you calm energy. He's like, it was me, you know.
Cody, I once went with my mom. It was years ago. My mom entered some other competition of Land Rover and won to like take photos or videos of like an adventure around Africa thing.
Okay.
And one of the places she had to go and take photos was Cradle of Humankind.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've been to Cradle of Humankind, but when you come out of the cave, there is this really long like stairwell that you go up to climb out of the cave.
Yeah.
And let me just say, my mom has two problems. One, she has a problem with farting. Two, she has a problem with lying.
What? Wait. She has a problem with farting as in she farts a lot, or she doesn't like other people's
My mom is
farts?
lactose intolerant. My mom is lactose intolerant, and she has never seen dairy that she wasn't going to shove down her mouth. Let me put it that way, okay? I've never seen anything like it. For somebody who cannot have dairy, that is at least 99% of my mom's diet.
Always wonders what
And
you can't
honestly, the worse that it upsets her stomach, the more she wants it. Like, it is incredible. But anyway,
She
we
enjoys
had
a little
been
tummy
going
tickle.
through the cave, and my mom was eating chocolate and drinking milkshake and living her best life. Now we're about to exit this cave, and it is a cave. It echoes because it is a cave. My mom steps onto the first step. Now, when I say it's a long stairwell, it's like 3 stories worth of stairs. Like, it's a lot of stairs. It's like 50 stairs. My mom steps on the first step and she farts. It echoes throughout the cave. Then she starts, because now she's embarrassed, so she starts running up every single one of the 50 steps my mom farted. She would not stop running, and every single time she farted, she's like, sis Arielle, sis Arielle, sis Arielle. I was so angry, Cody. I had the car keys because I had driven there. I basically stormed up those stairs, started walking towards the car. My mom is running behind me, still fighting. Sis Arielle. I'm like, I'm leaving you here. It's done. You can call dad. You can call whoever. I don't care. But you are now being left. You're living in the cave. Like, this is unforgivable. I was so angry. And trust me, like, there was nothing. If my mom had turned around at that point and been like, oh, sorry, excuse me, it was not going to make the situation better, right? The situation was ridiculous, uncalled for. People refused to walk downwind of us after that. I was so mad, Cody. It was so embarrassing. And you know what the best is? We had gotten into a fight or like an argument on the way there that morning because my mom, out of nowhere, said something like, you know, I should be so thankful that I have her as a mother because she has never once embarrassed me ever in her life like other mothers embarrass their kids. And I was like, that is just not true. I was like, that is just not true. You have embarrassed me loads of times. And my mom was like, no, name just one time. And I was like, it's too many times. I can't name just one time. And we'd just had this little spat. And then like an hour later, my mom does that to me. I was like, this is the time. This is the time you have embarrassed me.
Speaking of milkshakes, that brings up another topic you just reminded me of. Okay, so we were at the shops the other day, and Ash was keen on a milkshake, and then she came to me and she was like, which one should I get, a Steri Stumpy or a Super M? Okay, I feel like this might upset
clearly
you.
It's Steri Stumpy.
There we go, I knew it was going to upset you.
Clearly Steri Stumpy. No, did you say Super M?
I said take the
Cody.
Super M. I knew it was gonna upset you. I feel like for some reason, is it the name? Is it because Steri Stumpy sounds Afrikaans that like South Africa is united behind the flavor of Steri Stumpy? Like that's why. Anyway,
No,
I said
think it's just we didn't have choice. You're my age. That's what you had as a kid. You had Steri Stumpy or nothing.
no, we had Super M's. I distinctly remember getting Super M's. So I said,
Okay.
take the Super M because I think it tastes better. Obviously, she didn't listen to me. She took both. Okay. Fair. She's gonna make up her own mind now to decide if she wants the Steri Stumpy or the Super M. So she's got both. She drinks the Super M and doesn't say anything about it. So I'm just like, okay, fine. We'll wait for the verdict for the Steri Stumpy to get drunk. She opens up the Steri the other day. And I don't know why, but it tastes salty. I don't know. I don't ever remember a Steri Stumpy tasting salty.
Is it the peanut butter one?
No, it was just the chocolate one. We were just doing a classic chocolate milkshake test. And I was like, is it not shaken? Like, we shook it up some more. We did everything we could. And I don't know what it was. But they've obviously mistaken sugar for salt in the factory there because it was so weird. It was the weirdest milkshake I've ever tasted in my life. And to further push my fact, Super M is still the better tasting milkshake.
Cody, I'm just going to say I am very scared to drink anything that contains milk in your house. I've heard the stories, I've heard the tales. Like, I don't know what your house does to dairy, but it's not good, firstly.
I think it does hate dairy. It does.
Secondly, Steri Stumpy is objectively delicious unless you get the peanut butter one, and that is toxic. That does not deserve to exist in this world, right? So much so, it's put me off peanut butter. Like, I can smell peanut butter now, and I get this cold shiver because I remember the god-awful taste of that peanut butter Steri Stumpy. It's traumatizing.
That's sad.
Truly awful.
Peanut butter's probably
And you know,
the
it was
best
one
thing.
of those cases. It was one of those cases where Larry took a sip and then went, taste. And I went, no, but why? And Larry's like, no, you must taste it. And I went, no,
taste
thank
it.
you, I'm good. And he's like, no, just taste it. Then I tasted it and he was like, how awful is that? It's terrible, right? And I was like, I hate you. I actually hate you.
You turned your peanut butter for your whole life. Yeah, that sucks. I love peanut butter. I eat peanut butter out of the tub if I get the opportunity. Just, you know, we have to buy the
I've
bulk one.
done that so many times.
Such a satisfying snack. I love it. Back on the dairy though, funnily enough, now that you say our house hates dairy, so we were out we were out last night for one of Ash's AGM things. all the way in Pretoria, funnily enough. We came all the way to your side of the world. It's quite far, hey? Jeez,
And you've survived.
Well, yeah, all we did is drive there and drive back, but sheesh, it's so far. I don't understand. Anyway, so we get home and it's quite late, and Ash made jelly, so you obviously have to have custard, and she made jelly the night before.
100%.
So we were like, okay, what's the first thing we do when we get home? We're gonna have some jelly and custard. Sweet. We've had a little one of those like Ultramol cartony things of custard sitting in the fridge. And I reach in to grab it. It's still sealed, okay? It hasn't been opened.
Okay.
It's completely sealed. And it's stuck to the fridge, like on the shelf. It's completely stuck. I have no idea how. I had to peel it off the fridge, and it ripped all the cardboard, like, printing. So the cardboard print stuff is still stuck to the fridge, and the thing came out. And I have no idea, because everything around the cardboard, everything around the custard is completely fine, but the custard was stuck to the fridge.
See, it's your house.
I don't know. We still ate the
weird.
custard, by the way, so I'll let you know how that turns out.
I will say though, how are you and Ashley at throwing out gross things? Let me just like give you background story of this. The other day, Larry opens up our fridge and is like, oh shit, we must actually clean out the whole fridge again because something's smelling a little funky in here. I'm like, oh yeah, I smelt it like when I opened the fridge 10 minutes ago. We must this weekend just pack everything out, clean it, put everything back in because something does smell weird. Then the next morning I went to the fridge, and before I even opened the fridge, it clicked to me what that something must be.
Okay.
Like, I want to say 2 weeks ago,
Okay.
Larry and I made chops. And then there was like, I was cutting bone out because we were going to give little bits of it to our dog, and I didn't want to give the bone.
Yep.
And then Larry was like, oh no, I must just keep a little bit of the meat because he wants to use it for sandwiches. I was like, okay, cool. Put the meat in a Tupperware, put the Tupperware in the fridge, and lo and behold, those sandwiches never materialized. But then I clicked, that is probably the gross smell. Larry clicked, that is probably the gross smell. And now neither of us wanted to take that Tupperware out and like get rid of it. Eventually Larry gets home. I'm like, this is the smell. He's like, oh no, he remembered. We're like, do we really love that Tupperware? Maybe we must just throw the whole thing away. Like, go in, hold your breath, take it, throw the whole thing away, and we'll just get another Tupperware. Like, are we brave enough to open up that lid, throw it out?
So I have a story for you as well, but to answer your question about throwing stuff away. So we like, I don't know how you guys find it in your house, but I find it so hard to make food for two people in our house. We always have like too little or too much. It's never like spot on. So usually it's not so bad because if I'm working from home, then I'll have the leftovers the next day. But I don't like cold stuff unless it's like cold pizza, you know. I always have to warm it up, and if I'm not vibing with like warming up the food, then I'll leave it in the fridge, and then I know it's a bad habit, but it will stay in the fridge for like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 weeks or something stupid like that. So I know
it
most
gets forgotten about.
And it just gets pushed to the back of the fridge, like the more stuff you put in or when you go and get leftovers. So it is my bad habit that probably lands up stinking up the fridge with stuff like that. At least Ash is pretty good with throwing stuff out before the Tupperware gets too rancid to be used again. But speaking about rancid containers, okay. I went on a trip for work maybe 2 years ago or just over a year ago, and Ash made some stuff in the air fryer, okay? She had it in, she cooked it, she obviously forgot that it was there. I don't know what happened, I don't know the full story, I wasn't there. It was just her and herself and her air fryer. She cooked some stuff. And then I think she closed it, and we keep the air fryer on the kitchen counter, so then it just stayed there.
Yes.
And then I came back from this trip, and the air fryer was still there. It looks neat and clean, and then we're like, cool, lekker, we're going to cook something in the air fryer. Open it up. The food is still in there, okay? I don't know how long it's been in there, but there's maggots now. There's maggots and eggs and everything. Long story short, we bought a new air fryer, and as much as we've bleached and detoxed that air fryer, it still sits in the box, and we're even too ashamed to like try and give it to someone else because it's just so gross to think that. Imagine if there's like a maggot in there and you just have a little fried maggot in your chicken wings or something.
But
like,
it happens so fast and it's so disgusting. Years ago also, like Larry and I went on our first ever family holiday together.
Mm-hmm.
And he had packed his dishwasher but forgotten to put it on.
Okay.
And also we went away on the family holiday, had the best time of our lives, walked into his house, and how his apartment was at that stage is you sort of walked into the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was walking, you can hear things like rice popping underneath your feet. And I was like, that's strange. Put on the light, and exactly like you guys, maggots. But because the dishwasher door wasn't completely shut, they'd like fallen out.
Yeah.
Oh, so gross. We also never used that dishwasher again. It was so gross. It was so disgusting.
So
Thankfully, the dishwasher was Dodge at that point. Like, it was a hand-me-down, and it was already not washing most of the dishes. It was time. I was like, can't.
Oh, that's so gross. I feel like horror movies and games, though, are designed off of insects. Like, if you look at all the scary, crazy things, they're just very, very big-looking insects, right? Like, think about it. Think about what Alien looks like.
100%.
Yeah. See?
But they're harrowing. Like, have you ever looked at what a slug looks like on the inside?
No.
So years ago, I was reading like a fun fact.
Okay.
Slugs have more teeth than anything else. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I went to go Google like what slugs actually look like. And a slug, if you look on the inside of a slug, is basically just a tube of teeth. That's what a slug is. A slug is a tube of teeth with a little bit of jelly thrown on top. It is harrowing, Cody. Like, actually harrowing.
Ooh. Thank God for the jelly. Sure. I feel like the jelly. Well, on that horrifying note, maybe we should end it off with something more positive, like where people can reach us and where they can buy our magazine and how they can get involved with our show.
Okay, so guys, you are definitely going to want to buy a magazine. Like, this is potentially, not to spit on NAG magazines that have come before, but this is objectively the coolest one. It is the coolest one, right? Like, it is just next level. It takes everything that made the NAG of your childhood and our relaunch great, and it ups it by 10%. It's so freaking cool. There are 2 covers. Like, that appeals to me. That is the like collector in me's like itch. A cover and a variant cover. Yes, please. But anyway, you can head over to shop.nag.co.za to pick that up. There's also some cool other bundles. So you can just get a mystery cover if you like to live on the edge. Or you can get the cover bundle, which will get you one of each if you're a collector like me. Or you can get a bundle that includes the annual if you maybe didn't pick it up, but you've grown addicted to watching Cody and me, and you're like, oh, maybe let me hear what all the fuss was about.
Yeah.
And if you want to read our writing without having the joy of holding it in your hands, and I mean that's just wrong, but you do you can head over to www.nag.co.za.
Yes, you can do those things. And if you want to be a part of any of our shows or any of the magazine editions that come out, or just, want to say hi, you can always drop us an email to hey@nag.co.za. If you're on your phone right now and you just don't have access to email somehow, I don't know, but you do have WhatsApp, You can drop us a voice note or send us a message on 062-834-1919. And of course, you can always catch us on our social media pages, which include X and Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram and Threads and TikTok and YouTube, obviously.
All of the things.
All of the things.
How is
Cool.
this so smooth? It feels wrong.
It was perfect this time. We're getting better at it. 3 seasons later.
We're getting so good at it.
Too good. We'll have to mess up the next one.